Hello, bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature. Welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and take a peek inside Pandora's box to talk about books both published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna, that's me, Marissa,
hello,
and Megan.
Hi.
Before we get started, we are doing something special today. Let's talk about what we're drinking today.
We're doing the exact same special thing that prompted this episode, I think, and we're all drinking the same tea.
Yeah, it was a tea that Megan got Marissa.
Yeah. We drank it for our Percy Jackson episode.
Yep.
And it was also fitting that we drink it today because we're talking about
mythology.
Mythology.
Which is one of our favorite topics. Marissa and I tend to read a lot of mythology retellings, or at least talk about a lot of mythology. So I think that this is going to be a fun one. I think that we're going to delve into good mythology retellings. I think we'll probably focus a lot on Greek mythology, but we'll probably have some other mythology out there too. Maybe books that we want to read too, or stories that we love that we hope maybe get made into books from mythology. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to talk about today, I think. So guys, what are some of your favorite mythology retellings?
We didn't even talk about the tea, Jenna.
Oh my god.
The tea.
We're
She's
going to
ready to spill the tea before she talks about it.
Yes. We're drinking the Goddess of War tea that we had. I think Marissa and Megan might have both tried it. I actually had not tried it before. So it's my first time trying it. I love it. It's the one that Megan got Marissa for
Christmas or your birthday.
Yeah,
They're
my
close
birthday.
enough.
Yeah, so they're right around the corner from each other, so
yeah, it happens. It's a lavender black tea with vanilla, I think, and cinnamon. I think we've decided. We can't all remember exactly.
I didn't taste cinnamon when we had it the first time.
Yeah.
But
it does have kind of a cinnamony taste to it. But
it's really good.
I snuck some cinnamon in it when you guys weren't looking at it. I did not.
And we're all having it iced today, which is new. Last time you guys drank it warm because Marissa's birthday is right by Christmas. So
Yeah. So it's nice, too, because we changed it up a bit, so it wasn't like we were drinking the exact same thing. I think the first time we had it, we had, like, no sweetener. We were just trying it as it was, and we liked it. And now it's warmer out, so we tried it iced with sweetener, and it's really good.
it's very refreshing.
It is.
it makes
I
it really
recommend
good.
What was I bought it for you, but what was the
Valhalla teas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if anyone wants to give it a go.
And it's the one that came in the cool skull jar. So
Yes.
definitely get the jar because literally I want to get all my teas in those jars and just place skulls all across my counter.
I want, like, a whole, like, witch's pharmacy.
Yes, apothecary up
Yes.
there.
Curio. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so now can I ask you guys what is our favorite mythology retellings?
Oh, once again, you guys say it like this, like, what's your favorite? And I never put it in any order for anything. But I felt like a good one that I started with, at least one that I thought of when I was thinking of mythologies, was American Gods by Neil Gaiman. And the reason why I loved that book so much, other than it being Neil Gaiman, and I love most of his stuff, actually everything I've read by him I'm pretty sure I've loved, but I always liked that belief system of, like, gods get their power from worship.
Yeah.
And the more people worship them, the more power they have, and the less they start to die out. And the interesting part about that book was, because it's, like, set in America, like, the gods immigrated when people immigrated from the lands that they came from. And there are new gods that get created, like social media and technology gods and stuff. So I thought that one was really cool because it was just a cool take on, like, all gods exist, because I like that belief, and they exist because of us believing in them.
Yeah, this whoever believes you get more power.
Yeah.
We watched, my husband and I watched the show that came out, but it was only the first part of it that we watched. Mm-hmm. But we loved the show. I did hear the second part that came out because it was a whole different showrunner. Was not as good, but my favorite part of the show was all the different types of Jesuses that were out there.
And they had Kristen Chenoweth played Ostara, I think it is.
Ostara, yeah.
Ostara, the goddess of, like, fertility and nature, and they were doing the, like, Easter celebration. And it's, like, all the Jesuses, but it was really her celebration.
It was, it was so funny.
That's perfect timing since, it was just Easter. I like that we're on theme with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually haven't read the book or watched that show, so now it's going to have to go on my list because that sounds wonderful.
It was very good. It's like a unique, well, at least the show, I didn't read the book, but the show was done in a very unique way that I assume it paid homage to the book.
I didn't watch the show
Okay.
fully. I've seen clips of the show, and I think I watched like the first episode. But it's been so long since I read the show, or I read the book, and I watched what I did watch of the show, so I don't remember how it compares.
Okay. Yeah.
It's funny because you guys were talking about the idea that, like, the gods get their power from people worshiping them, and it reminded me of Kendar Blake's The Anti-Goddess,
That's
which
another one on my list.
we hadn't gosh, it's been 7 or 8 years since we read that book, but I'll always remember that one because all of the Greek gods were dying because no one was believing in them and worshiping them anymore. And like Athena was having like feathers sprout from her skin, and like they were dying in ways that had to do with like what their powers were. And I thought that was
like
so cool.
heating up from the inside out.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it
Hephaestus,
was.
maybe? I don't remember.
That
Hephaestus?
Mercury, somebody.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that was a really good... I loved that series. I remember just, like, devouring that series. And I think that it followed Cassiopeia, right? It was...
Well, their whole mission on that was to find Cassandra.
Oh, that's what it was. Cassandra that they
The
were looking
prophet.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good book. I want to go back and reread those because it's been so long since I read it. I think I could enjoy it again.
Yeah.
I have not read those, but I do love Kendar Blake, so I would love to read more of her stuff.
I think I remember it didn't have like really high ratings, so I don't remember if the writing like excelled, but I just remember liking it because I liked the premise of it, and that's what made me devour it. Was I liked the
It did feel very young adult in that time period, where it like seemed like it could be almost any of the books that I would have picked up randomly from the bookstore before TikTok got popular and told me what to read. But it was really good. I remember Marissa got it and she like devoured and just started handing it to me before she even finished the third one, and I read it all with her too. And I want to say that we read it 2018 or something like that, and I still think about it sometimes.
I remember you guys talking about it back then, yeah.
Yeah,
It
a
was
while.
after we read Three Dark Crowns because we had we had read that one and we knew the author well enough that we were like, when I saw it, I was like, hey, that's the same author. And then it was about Greek gods in modern time, and I was like, I'll read it. I like Three Dark Crowns.
Okay, I'm going to take us back to early 2000s. Are you ready?
Okay, we're going back.
Daughters of the Moon,
Oh yes, those were
by
so
Lynn
good.
Ewing, and that followed, what was it, 5 or 6 girls, high school girls, and they each had different powers, like gifted to them by what was her name? Selene.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was the goddess of the moon or the goddess of witchcraft or something. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember.
It was Selene, and then they had to fight Aatrox or something, was the bad guy. And it was like, yeah, it even included Pandora's Box was mentioned. It had a lot of mythology in it, but it was like set in modern times, and the girls would like go to clubs and, you know, have their cool
I remember
adventures.
that. I remember reading those in high school, and it was totally like, somehow in high school it was totally normal that these teenage girls were in clubs and stuff like that. And I mean,
That was
they
an early
had some
2000s thing.
underage
Yep.
clubs in high school, but nowadays I don't think teenagers are going to clubs.
You never know.
I guess, yeah. How many teenagers do I really talk to?
Yeah,
let me
that's
go.
right.
Let me go talk to all the high school students. Hey, do you guys go to clubs? That's not creepy at all.
Not creepy at all.
I do know, it's funny because I don't remember anything about those books. Like, I don't remember reading them. I know I did because I remember Jenna read them and I remember seeing them on our shelves, and I'm like, this is cool. So I know I read it, but I was much younger at the time, so it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think I retained any of it.
I think it was Daughters of the Moon and the Sweep series.
Yeah, me
that
and Megan both.
Jenna and I became like really fast friends over.
Yes, it was funny because I think I started it. I want to say I rented it from our school library, and Megan had like the next one, and I was like, "Look," and I was like, "They don't have it in our library. I need to borrow it from you." And then she started like loaning me some of them, and yeah,
And here we are today,
and now we have a podcast talking about this.
reminiscing. I also have City of Brass, if we want to get away from
Oh yeah,
from
Greek mythology. Yeah,
that's
that
kind of it's set in Egypt, but I would say it's just Arabic mythology.
Interesting. I don't know that one.
Ah, it starts off in Cairo.
I think Marissa would really enjoy that one because I know I've told Megan to read it. She read the first one. She hasn't read the other two. What I love about that book is that it's from 3 different people's point of view, and it has a lot to do with the jinn and all of the Arabic mythology centered around that. And like in the jinn, they have different sects of jinn that are in charge, like not in charge. They're the royal family, the people that rule over the jinn city. And this girl from Cairo, she accidentally finds out that she's jinn and that she's like the last of the royal line from this one sect, and I forget, it's been a while.
The Naharaba.
I vaguely remember you talking about this now that you're talking about it again.
But what's so cool about it is that there are 3 different points of view and all of them are flawed. And she did a really good job of having them really strong and set in their beliefs without being like, oh, so-and-so's obviously right because they're the main character and this is the way things are. We should just have a revolution and all be this way. It's like, it shows how our culture can like persuade you to believe a certain way.
It's Priory of the Orange Tree.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of Priory of the Orange Tree. I totally know that. Exactly.
So it was City of Brass, and who's that by?
S.A. Chakraborty.
Okay.
She's the one who also is doing my book for our exchange, the Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll read one of her books at least this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was that. That's like a different kind of mythology. Jenna was kind of doing the vague explanation. I had to watch like 3 YouTube videos to explain who was who because even though they're all jinn, like she said, they're different sects.
Yeah.
And some of them have power, some of them don't, and some of them have like not magical power, but like
power in their
like royal power over the others, and it was so confusing. And I was just like, I don't know who's who, I don't know what's what, so I had to watch 3 videos.
Jeez.
To explain that.
The other one I had on my list was Circe by Madeline Miller.
I've only read her Song of Achilles, but I do want to read Circe.
I haven't read that, so I want to read that. I didn't finish Circe.
Oh.
It was, I think the only thing I had with it is I think it was pretty slow at the beginning.
Okay.
And I got to the point where it's getting more interesting, and I think we were moving or something at that point, so I stopped.
You got busy.
Yeah, and I was like, it was too slow for me to just pick it right back up, and I didn't want to reread the beginning part, but I also didn't want to, like, jump into it being like, what happened again? But it was a really good, like, telling of, like,
Circe.
this witch, of Circe, of this witch that is both famous and not super famous in Greek mythology, where it's like she's kind of has a smaller part in all of it, but she really is like a big deal.
I think I gave you that book
You did.
and was like, Marissa, read this because I heard it's queer and I need to know if it's good and I want to read it, but tell me if it's worth my time.
I already forgot if it was queer or not.
Is it?
I got to the point where I think it's right where Odysseus meets her.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird because it's like a retelling, but also just like also still set in that time. So it's not like a modern version or anything like that. It's just from her perspective.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. I do want to read it. It just might be one of the ones. Maybe I'll listen to it on audiobook. That would be a good one to listen to, maybe.
Did you ever read Song of Achilles?
I did not. That's
Okay.
another reason
So
that I
you
gave
haven't
it to
read
Marissa,
those,
because I was like, I gave it to Marissa when Circe came out. I want to say it was like brand new. And I said, please read this because I've heard so much about the Song of Achilles, so it's supposed to be good. And I've heard this is queer, so I want to know if it's worth reading. And then Marissa was like, it's really slow. I haven't finished it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I won't read it.
I think the problem is because the very beginning part is a lot of family drama because it's the buildup of like what makes her who she is.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of like her getting a lot of shit from people. Like she's getting a lot of backlash and mistreated and everything. And I understand that's the setup of her like becoming powerful and like turning into this independent woman that is kind of a little bit possibly evil, depending on how you look at it. But it's just that whole family drama of it, I was not into that part. And so it was like, okay, get past all of this. I get it. She has a terrible life. Let's go to the cool stuff that happens.
Get to the point where she turns men into pigs.
Exactly. And that's about where I got to when I stopped.
Oh, right at the part.
Yeah. And then also with Greek mythology, I mentioned it briefly, I think, before, but Nikita Gill has a poetry book called The Great Goddesses. Okay. She actually has a lot of poetry that's based in mythology, but that one was very specifically Greek goddesses and gods. And it's like a retelling of all their stories in poetry. So sometimes it's like just a short poem about it, and then sometimes it's more like a short story of like 2 or 3 pages. And I like the way she does it because she gives you a new perspective on everything.
Okay.
So it's like certain gods that may have been, like, you may have thought of them as monsters or as like evil, but it's like really what turned them into this, and it like gives them their backstory into it and gives them more personality.
That's what I love. I love when they take like people that you think are monsters or evil and like being like, no, they were once people too, and this is what happened to them. Yeah, I like that. I do actually need to read a poetry book because it's on my in my planner.
That one.
And I'd probably go with that one because Greek mythology, I don't like poetry, but
I highly recommend it because, like I said, some of it is just poetry. It's just like, it's like the rhythm and rhyme and all of poetry, but some of it's just like a narrative almost. And I recommend that because I think they're just short stories, and it's broken up into parts too. So it's not just like, okay, I'm reading about Hephaestus in this one, and then the next one I'm reading about Athena, and then the next one I'm reading about Ares, and it's like, no, it's like, hey, here's Athena's story in like these 4 or 5 poems, and then here's Hera's story in these poems. And
oh, cool.
so
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that one this year then.
yeah, and I have it, so you can borrow it.
Hey, thanks.
I think I talked about before. I definitely did. I think when we were talking about Divine Rivals, I think it's called Lovely War by Julie Berry. It has to do with it's like Aphrodite is caught by Hephaestus with what's his face, Apollo, who she had the affair with and stuff, and she's having an affair with Ares, and Hephaestus.
That sounds familiar.
Hephaestus catches her and puts her on trial, and Aphrodite recruits Hades and Apollo to her defense and tells the tale of 4 young people whose lives intertwined during the First World War. Oh, and
are they human form?
Yeah, so it's like stories within stories. And I found that very fascinating and interesting because it had the gods and the goddesses and talking about that. And she used these tales of love to come to her defense. I don't know that there's a defense for sleeping with someone behind your husband's back, but, that was her idea with that. And I thought that was a really interesting and unique take on it. And I found it really good. I read it really fast. It was during 2020, so I read a lot of books really fast.
There's also a comic book that I recommend, and I haven't finished it yet, but it's called The Wicked and the Divine. Ooh. And that's like one of those, like, every X amount of years, the gods are reincarnated into these people, and they party, they do all this stuff, and then they fizzle out after so much time. And it's just like the drama of the different gods, but it's also like American gods where it takes from different mythologies. So they have like a Greek god with a like Viking god with this type of god, like all these different ones that come together. So I recommend that one. It was a fun read. I haven't finished it, and I don't know how far into it it's gotten because it's been like a year since I read the last one.
Oh, it's online?
No, I'm sure it is somewhere, but I've been reading the physical copies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I get them at Barnes & Noble and stuff.
Yeah. So. Whenever you look in the graphic novel section, you just see if it's come out or not.
Exactly. That's typically what I do.
I've been curious about the lore of Olympus because I always see clippings of that.
It is actually coming to a close. She just announced that it's going to finish this year.
I love Persephone and Hades retellings, so I'm curious about that one. And I'm maybe when it's coming to a close, I can actually
I think there's going to be a total of 7 like physical volumes.
Nice.
But since it is a webtoon, it's just a swipey guy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't even tell you how many chapters of that I read because I just binged it all in one go up until it was, but this is a couple of years ago. But it's it's beautifully drawn. It's like a watercolor, very abstract style. It does have a lot of trigger warnings in it. But it's good. I enjoyed it. I also enjoy, since that's a webtoon, another webtoon of Hades and Persephone is Punderland, which is very cute because it is...
Puns?
Yeah. And the art is absolutely beautiful on that one. It is more, not realistic, but like cartoonized compared to Lore Olympus, but it's very well done. It's very pretty. And that is another one that I binged and then have been waiting for it to catch up so I can binge more. But yeah.
One of my favorite parts about Persephone and Hades retellings is because, like, I think originally we're taught that she was, like, kidnapped, basically, and she was forced to live down there.
Right.
Whereas the retellings are usually like, hey, she was running away from her family, and she fell in love with Hades, and he offered her an escape, and she became, like, the queen of hell, basically.
Right.
And queen of the underworld. And so that's what I like about getting these types of retellings is, like, you were told one way that fit a mold of something that you would think of. So you think of Hades in a Western modern Christian sense as the devil, and he's bad and he's kidnapping these people and stuff like that. But then you get these retellings of, like, hey, there's more than one side to every story.
Right.
And there's stuff like, I like the idea of Medusa was actually being saved by giving her curse of...
Right.
Like...
So now no men will ever look at you and want to harm you.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
So I like that twist on retellings of, like, monsters aren't monsters. Sometimes it's a good thing that happened.
Yes,
Right.
Percy Jackson.
And this is what's good about all of these retellings is because I mean, obviously, there's so many out there, and there's so many different styles, so you can find one that you really like, that you're like, oh, I didn't think about this. Like, maybe Medusa chose to be, turned into a monster, or, instead of being, attacked by, what was it, Zeus or Poseidon?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I think it was Poseidon.
Oh, Poseidon.
I want to say, but I could be wrong.
Another one that I really liked that's not an actual retelling, but I want somebody to make this now, is that Medusa falls in love with a woman because men that look at her turn to stone.
It's the men.
I love that.
Or what was it? Somebody did a drawing and it was like she fell in love with a blind woman or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen, like, clips,
I
like,
loved that.
snippets of that. It's so cute.
I want that to be like a full story somewhere.
Why don't you write it?
I know. Add that to my list of 100 stories that I need to write.
Honestly, I find fairy tale and mythology retellings are some of my favorites. And what I like is that it is a story that's been told a million times, but every time you read it, it's slightly different. And people can take their own spins. And they do those things where, the monsters aren't necessarily the monsters and the heroes aren't necessarily the heroes. And there's so much that you can do with it. You can go young adult like Percy Jackson, or you can go super adult like what was it? A Touch of Darkness was the Hades and Persephone, like, naughty book retelling.
I'm sure
there's
tons of
so
them
many,
out there,
I'm
yeah.
sure. But I just remember that was a big one, and I got that one because I was like, Hades and Persephone, and I was like, I mean, I'm not shy. I'll read naughty books, but I was like, whoa, this is definitely a different type of retelling than I anticipated. But yeah, they have, you can go for something that anyone can enjoy. I know my mom and my aunt really got into Sherilyn Kenyon books, which are like a Greek mythology based like series that have to do with like dark hunters, and they're definitely more adult, and I would not recommend them to young kids. No young Jennas out there, although I'm pretty sure I was a young Jenna reading them. But they are like romances and all of that. It has to do with like Artemis, and she turns men who are on the verge of dying into dark hunters who will like kill daemons who are Apolloites or whatever. And so it has like all of that, but Artemis is not a good guy. We don't like her. And it was like interesting to read those, and those are definitely more adult. But I think that there's something in there for everyone that everyone would enjoy.
Oh.
But Oh.
My TBR is too long
Yeah, right.
to be adding more to it.
I don't know that you would love it, to be honest.
Okay.
They're very long books. There's some of them that were good and interesting, but there's a lot of it that I think that you would just be like, this is kind of cheesy.
Ah, okay.
But
Hey, Percy Jackson is one of my
Okay,
all-time favorites,
that's
and it is
fair.
so cheesy.
Very cheesy.
that is very cheesy. Most of them are very short, quick reads. If you ever do want to read them,
It's just a
then
long series, is what you
it's
mean?
a lot
okay.
of books to get into. It's
That's
like
a
I don't know, like
dedication.
20 something books or something like that.
Okay.
So,
Too
but
many
you
to
don't
add.
have to read all of them necessarily. Each one has to do with a different person. I don't know. Maybe there's people out there. Look up Sherilyn Kenyon books, guys. See if it's your cup of tea and tell me what you like about them.
Speaking of cup of tea, I'm thirsty. I have a couple more. These are the rest that I have are not Greek mythology, but before I do that, I have Lore by Alexander Bracken, which is similar to what you guys have said. It's Greek gods and goddesses in modern times, where the main character is like, is it once every year, once every couple years? The gods and goddesses are mortal, and so people can go and kill them and steal their powers.
Oh, shoot.
And so Athena goes up to the main character, is like, I need you to protect me. And she's like, I don't want to protect you. I don't care about you. And then they go on a buddy cop adventure.
Nice.
I love it.
That was one I did not finish, but I do want to finish because I do love Alexander Bracken a lot. And I love Greek mythology, and the cover was really cool because it's like the stone of Medusa's face, but with like the eyeballs crumbling, and it has a real eye underneath.
Nice.
It's very cool.
I think I've seen the cover and I've been like, I want to read that. And so,
I have it if you want to
yeah,
borrow.
maybe I'll have to.
Another one I have is The Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman, and that is Indian retelling. I did the audiobook and I binged it in like 2 days, so I don't really remember what it was about, but it had a lot of like folklore and stuff in it. It was very good.
That led me into there was a Star-Touched Queen that I read a while back, and I couldn't remember much about it,
I
but
remember
that
being
was
super popular.
yeah, it had a lot of Indian mythology in that, and I read those, and I remember liking them. I remember reading all of them, but not like loving them. So I didn't like devour. I think I devoured them because they were quick and easy, but I wasn't like, oh my god, everyone read this. But it did kind of have that Hades Persephone retelling feel to it. So, but it was based on Indian mythology, although I don't know enough about Indian mythology to know.
I feel like recent days, Indian mythology has gotten really popular.
It
like
has.
you have Star Daughter, The Ivory Key. I just feel like there's a lot out there that I'm just like, heck yes, give me more.
Yes.
I want to know more.
I'm so curious because there's so many different mythologies that I don't know about. Like we were talking about, like Indian mythologies and stuff. So like I'll read certain books and wonder like what they've taken from mythologies, if they have taken. So for example, Jasmine Throne that we're reading for this year has a lot of its own religious system in there. And so, but I don't know enough about any of the actual mythologies there that I don't know what they've taken and what's like completely their own.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I should read up on it more to have more knowledge.
What is the Jasmine Throne based off of? Is it like Chinese mythology or
Indian.
Indian
I'm
mythology?
pretty
Okay.
sure it's Indian. It seems very Indian.
Yeah, it's definitely a fantasy world, but I think it does have it seems to have an Indian feel to it. But although I'm only 4 chapters in, so take my word for it. I'm an expert.
Yes. Based off of like the names and stuff that I understand, and like the clothing they describe are like saris and stuff like that. So that's where I get that from.
Oh, I'm so excited for that book. I'm after Jenna, right?
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
So I'll have it after summer, midsummer.
Midsummer.
I love it because it gives like it'll do the clothing descriptions and it'll use the actual names for it. So they have like doties, I can't remember how to pronounce it. But like I didn't know that was the word for that piece of clothing, so I'd look it up and I'd be like, perfect, I've been wondering what that's called.
That was me. I just finished Star Daughter, and she described all of the clothes and stuff, and so I did look up all the clothes, and it is so cool. Like there's so many pieces and so many like intricate stuff. I want to learn more.
I do too.
Yes.
I definitely love that about reading books, is that when you look things up and they use these words, you're like, I'm just gonna write that down and Google it really quick, and be like, oh, that's what that's called. Like, I don't know, I just knew this, and it's like it really like broadens your horizons on stuff like that. I think it's cool. I actually I have a friend, Vandana. Her two sons were best friends with my husband and his brother. They're best friends, so they're like family friends. And she just came over and taught me to make Indian curry. And
Ooh,
so we made like a
yum.
huge pot of Indian curry and chapatis. And so now I'm like, I want to make Indian curry. We're talking about this. I'm like, I'm going to have to make some curry soon. And of course, it's, April. So it's going to be nice and warm. But we can still have curry. It's fine. I don't care.
We should do chai next week.
Ooh, chais
It's
and curries.
really funny because I didn't like Indian food for a long time. I
This
think
is
I
funny.
had bad Indian food or something, or I kept having curry and I don't like curry that much, so I just associated it. So I'm like, I'll have the naan bread, but that's about it. And living with Jenna and Jelani too, Jelani was always craving like Indian food. He's like, you want to get Indian food? I'm like, not really. Like, if you guys get it, I'll eat the naan, but like, and there were a couple times you guys did, and I did get it, despite what Jelani says.
Jelani was like, all those times I wanted Indian food. And you didn't want it.
I read The Jasmine Throne, which made me want to eat Indian food, and I texted Jenna. I'm like, do you want to get Indian food? Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but it just made me want to. And we went to this Indian restaurant that's near us, and we had this, like, it was like a kebab barbecue with, like, lemon chicken and stuff. And it was so good.
Yeah.
I loved it so much. And so now I like Indian food.
Jelani was so mad. He was at work
Jelani
that
got
day.
so
He was like,
mad.
what do you mean? It was so funny. He was like, Marissa, I have a bone to pick with you.
Books they brought in your horizon.
Yes,
Exactly.
always.
And I think that's just something that I need to start reading more books that are based in different cultures, I think, because I get so set in certain ones that are either more Western or just stuff that I know, that I'd like to read more that's based off of stuff that I don't know as well.
Well,
All right,
I
City
got
of
one.
Brass.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to hop right into one. This is one thing, this is like a good segue actually, because reading recently like the Star Daughter and wanting to learn more about like Indian culture and Indian mythology, and reading that book and hearing all of like the outfits and the clothing and the food and like the words that are for them, it always makes me think of like, oh, okay, I don't know these words, so I have to look them up. But because I lived in Korea for so long and I'm fluent in Korean, that reading Korean books is so easy for me because I understand all the words that they use for clothes or for food. So one of them is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio, and that's a mythology about Shimchong, who is a girl who sacrificed herself to save her village from the angry sea gods.
Oh, wow.
Who were ravaging the village and causing a
Did
famine.
they turn into seagulls and talk to whales?
No, they did not. But I have that book, and it is a little on the younger side, like writing wise, but it is interesting to like get just a different type of like mythology, and it's more like a folktale, I would say, than mythology. But yeah.
I remember seeing that book, and I thought the art on the
The
cover
art
is
is
beautiful.
for both the American covers and the like English or like European covers. Sometimes when you read books or like look at books, one cover is significantly better
Yes.
than the other one. But this one, both of them were so pretty.
I feel
love
like
them both.
at least 70% of the time, I'm like, all right, I need to go to England just to buy all these books.
And get the covers, yeah.
Although now I'm sure you can ship them to yourself. You just have to pay, an arm and a leg and shipping.
Yeah.
But
I am curious too, because we talked about Indian. Have you guys read any like Native American books or anything based off of any Native American stories?
I read one. It was more of a middle grade, but I read it when I was in Korea. And it was my co-teacher. She was reading books to practice her English, and it was called Walk Two Moons. And I think it was the whole idea of walking 2 moons in someone else's shoes to understand their like thought process and their like how they live their life and stuff. And that's all I remember.
Huh. I'm very curious about that because I'd like to read some that obviously written by a Native American author and like stories that had been passed down and how they interpret it. Because I think that would be something really cool.
you
I
know what's
agree.
funny is that you said that, and I remember reading a book that had something to do with Native American mythology, and I can't remember anything about it
Oh no.
at all. I'm going to have to look that up. I just started Googling Native American mythology books.
I remember ones that, like, I read in school, and
Yeah.
it was, like, I don't remember much about them. I like the turtle one where, like, the world is on a turtle's
Perched on
back.
a turtle.
Yeah.
There's one I know that, where they talked about the world is in its, like, third iteration, and I think it's an egg that cracks open,
Oh, I've heard something like that.
and that's how the world is birthed, but then when, humans don't take care of it or whatever, then it disintegrates, so then it regenerates 3 times, and it's on its third iteration, and if we don't take care of the Earth right now, there will no longer be an Earth.
Jeez, I feel like that could really hit home, guys.
Hint, hint, take care of the Earth, please.
Yeah, so I think if anybody out there has any recommendations in that, I would love to read more Native American mythology and stories and stuff like that are accurate. Well, I would say just not, like, whitewashed.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely want to. Please send us your recommendations for that. I think it's funny because I feel like I get hooked into a mythology based off something else that pulls me into that direct. Like, you and Jelani were playing God of War, and then I went, like, Norse mythology. I want all the Norse mythology retellings, and I looked up all these ones, and I never read any of them. And so I have, like, lists of those, and I actually almost made it one of our books to read for the 3 of us, but then I went with Tempest of Tea because
What
it was
was
too
it?
perfect. It was called The Goddess of Nothing at All.
Oh,
And
That does sound
it's
good.
apparently a queer retelling from Loki's wife's
And
perspective.
she's making me read A Tempest of Tea.
And I'm making... The only thing was I heard that it was dark. And I was like...
yes.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if we are prepared for a dark retelling. So yeah, it was The Goddess of Nothing at All by Kat Rector. And it told the story of, like, Loki's wife, I guess, which I found really interesting because you don't hear as much about her. And I definitely want to read it at some point. So if you guys are down, it can be another one of our books that we all read and talk about.
I have never heard anything about Loki's wife. I did not realize Loki was even married. So that's cool.
There's a lot of cool Norse mythology, too, that I didn't know, and I still don't know, that I would like to delve deeper into. Another one of those, like, we westernized everything. So
Right,
you
with
have,
Marvel.
Like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you have, like, the big Odin is basically God, and then,
Like Hercules, where Zeus is God. And
yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Hades is the devil.
Won't talk about how
Right.
bad Hercules... Love the movie Hercules. Totally a bad representation of Greek mythology.
Everyone is represented bad in that.
Well,
Yeah.
Zeus is the best dad ever. Right?
Yeah.
Loves
totally.
his wife.
Yeah.
Would
And his
never cheat on
kid.
his wife.
And
Only one
Hercules
kid.
is definitely the daughter or the son of Hera.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
He's not a demigod. He is a full god.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Just drank the
The Baba.
poison for Cusco.
Cusco's poison.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's funny because when I was looking this up, I was looking up, like, Greek mythology and mythology retellings and stuff like that. And it's like you get a lot of mythology and then you get a lot of fairy tale retellings that pop up. And it's like they kind of seem to go hand in hand and stuff. And it was funny because as we were sitting here talking, I'm trying to think, like, I want to find a way to put into words the difference between Greek mythology and fairy tales. And I was reading this article and it popped up and it made me, I thought it was perfectly done. And it made me think, and I thought I'd share it with you guys while we were sitting here talking about it.
No.
No, you cannot tell me.
Denied.
It's from Antigone'sJournal.com. Athena... Wow, I'm going to pronounce this wrong. It's a Greek last name.
Do it.
Metropolis?
Metropolis.
She writes an article comparing Greek mythology with fairy tale, and she says, and I thought this was so perfectly put, perhaps this explains the very different nature of the protagonists. Fairy tales are written to teach children to be careful, not to talk to strangers or stray from the path, while myths were told to educate adults about life and its challenges. And I thought that was really cool, like, perfectly put way of defining the two. Yeah, I liked that. I wanted to share that.
Another book that I want to read going into Norse mythology is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman.
I started that one and it felt more like an encyclopedia.
Oh, really?
Then I did the audiobook and I very very vividly remember waiting forever for it to come on Libby and waiting for the bus to go into Seoul or whatever and starting it. And it was like, it started off like an encyclopedia. And I don't know if it like continues that way or if it is just an encyclopedia. And I was so disappointed that I just returned it. And I was just like, I don't want to listen to this. I want to listen to a story.
I 100% know nothing about it except for the title. And so I'm curious because I wonder if it just started out like if, you know, when you read books and you like open it, it's like, hey, here's the list of characters. So you're
like
kind
a
of
forward or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what it was. So next time I go book shopping, maybe I'll look out for it. And then
Hey, when are you going to go book shopping, Marissa?
I don't know. When are we going book
I
shopping,
need to
guys?
pick up Lee Bardugo's newest book, The Familiar.
Oh.
The cover of it is absolutely gorgeous, and I need it. So,
Nice.
Also, Lee Bardugo's an auto buy, so
Yeah.
no matter what.
I've got so many books that I have on my like, okay, this is the one I'm going to read next, and then this is the one I'm going to read next. And it's like, I shouldn't just go book shopping.
So funny story as we're talking about this. My mom was listening to one of our more recent podcasts.
She called me.
And she's like,
after that.
what book are you guys talking about reading? And I was like, A Tempest of Tea. Gotta read A Tempest of Tea. And she was like, really? And so I put it on her list and she's like, no, you guys were talking about A Girl of Paper and Fire. And I was like, oh crap, I have to read The Girl of Paper and Fire. And I just all of a sudden kept adding things to my list
Wait.
because we're talking about doing things on this podcast.
Did we talk about rereading Girls of Paper and Fire?
Yeah,
We
because we
did.
talked about none of us finished it.
Did you finish it? I forgot that we mentioned it. No.
Me too. I was like,
have-
I would have never read it. We never would have talked about it. It would have been really funny. Marissa would be like, guys, I read it all. Are you guys ready to talk
Yeah,
about
let's
it?
go talk about
And we'd
it.
be like, ugh.
All right,
No,
we are
I'm
being
not.
held doubly accountable
I
because
know. Now it's come up
this is now-
twice.
Okay.
Yeah, mom texted us today because she went to the library to pick up Under the Whispering Door and Girls of Paper and Fire. Because she's like, I need to be prepared for listening to your podcast. And we posted Under the Whispering Door, and she's like, I can't listen to this episode until I read the book.
Speaking of, next episode,
Yeah, next episode we're actually going to talk about Ruthless Vows, which is the sequel to Divine Rivals, the duology.
by Rebecca Ross.
Rebecca Ross? So don't tune into that one unless you've read it, because we will be
Both.
spoiling things. Yeah, read both of them, because we
No,
will
just
be
read the second one
spoiling.
and try to figure out what happened.
Try and figure out what are the Olettes, Alouettes? Yeah, what are those again?
Yes. Yeah. So definitely tune in next time for that one. Are we ready to wrap up this one so we can talk about Ruthless Vows now, guys? So we should, before we go, we should talk about what we're reading currently. What are you guys reading currently?
It's terrible because it's going to show how slow I'm reading this, but I am still reading A Tempest of Tea, and that's because life has gotten in the way, and I've got a lot going on, so I promise I will finish that.
It's okay. It happens. I'm finally reading Jasmine Throne. I finally finished my book. I feel like I have a never-ending list of things that I have to read for this podcast, and so I will never read any other book except for what I've told you guys I will read. But right now I'm reading Jasmine Throne.
I am reading Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, I think her name is.
I bought that a million years ago. It's sitting on my shelf to read.
Yeah, I got it in Owl Crate. Yeah, Margaret Rogerson. I got it in Owl Crate forever ago, and I'm trying to catch up on all my unfinished Owl Crate books, and that was one of them. And it's a Charlie Bowater cover, who is my all-time favorite cover artist. So
It's beautiful. I picked it up in Barnes & Noble and thought, this is beautiful. I'm buying it. So, yeah. Tell me how it is so that I can decide whether or not to
it's
read it.
really good. It has like spooky vibes with it. So
Save it for October.
she was possessed at one point.
October.
So, yeah.
October
It's a
read.
good.
This is what I'm doing. All right, so we're gonna finish this off with a quote.
What?
Even
That's
though
so new.
no, we've never done that before. Even though I just read you a quote from online about the difference between fairy tales and mythology. This one's by John Lennon, actually. It says, I believe in everything until it's disproved. So I believe in fairies, the myths, dragons. It all exists, even if it's in your mind. Who's to say that dreams and nightmares aren't as real as the here and now? I like that one. I
That's
thought
a
that
good
was
one.
cool. All right. Bye, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.